This is TV6 News at 6.
Water gushing like a fountain from manhole covers on River Drive, making a big splash as the vehicles drive through, closing roads here and all over the Quad City area. And flooding inside homes, too. Many homeowners facing wet basements and worse tonight. That tops your news at 6 tonight. Team coverage of the flooding. I'm Paula Sands. Gary Mativier is in Kelowna, where many homeowners are having a rough time tonight, Gary.
They certainly are, Paula. You can see it right behind me here all along this road, these houses. The water is starting to pull back tonight, but this is flash flooding. You know, the Rock River is not very far from these homes, but that is not where this water came from. All this water came from the sky, and it came down in a hurry. We want to also point out that we talk about safety a lot when it comes to floodwaters. We were in this water checking it out a little bit earlier. Again, this is just puddles behind homes. It was close to knee level. It was safe and secure. We made sure to check that out, but make sure to stay away from streams or rivers because we know they are riding very high, and some, in fact, may be coming close to record high. For the latest on what's happening in Moline, let's continue our team coverage now with KWQC Mark Stevens, who has the latest on preparations there. Mark?
Gary, Rock Island County is watching these river levels throughout the county as they continue to rise slowly here. Here in Moline, you can see the Mississippi River gushing up through a storm drain and starting to turn River Drive back into River Canal. Well, as the county says, its main concern, though, is the Rock River at this point, especially in low-lying areas of the county, such as Barstow, because the Rock is forecast to crest near its record set during the 2008 floods. However, the county is not yet ordering any evacuations at this point. It is staging sand and dirt and plastic to construct barriers. The county also has boats at its disposal in case it needs to start rescuing people who get stranded. But the county board chairman says residents need to watch the water levels closely.
We're recommending to residents in those areas to be alert and be aware of the rising waters, and at this point, if they feel the need to move out of the area, that it's entirely up to them at this point in time.
County officials will continue watching this water, gathering emergency officials together again tomorrow morning as they, us, and all the people who live along the water watch it creep ever closer. Reporting live in Moline, Mark Stevens, KWQC TV6 News. Back to you, Gary.
Mark, thank you. What's really interesting here is you see the water here, okay, then you see this berm and trees. On the other side of that is the Rock River. So for now, the area between the rock and between this puddle from flash flooding is the area that's staying dry, and that people will be keeping a very close eye on in the coming days. Also keeping a very close eye on mobile home parks throughout the area. You know, many of them are in low-lying areas that are flood-prone. Fran Riley tonight takes us to Lakeview Estate, where they are living up to that name tonight.
This is the main road into the Lakeview Estates Mobile Home Park. And as you can see, it looks like a lake. There are several feet of flood water here.
I come in at midnight and it was dry. So I come out right now and it's like what you see. I'm high and dry where I'm at, but it's just this low place here next to the lake. Just too much rain, I guess. Storms don't keep up or something, I don't know.
From this vantage point, you can see how high the water actually got. There's a fence line underneath that water, and it's starting to rain here again. In Rock Island County, Fran Riley, KWQC, TV6 News.
Fran, thank you. And of course, we've been, our crews have been throughout this area, checking in on a lot of people who are doing a lot of work. Neighbors helping neighbors tonight, trying to get that water out of the basement. We want to go now to Morrison, where Morgan Otier spent the day following a business dealing with water problems of its own.
Right now, I'm at Schuler Motors in Morrison, Illinois, and you can see I'm stepping in about a half a foot of water, and you can see it's creeping closer and closer to the buildings. There's also sandbags lining the building. But this dealership is used to flooding, so these are the only sandbags you're going to see.
We've tried that a few times, and it just doesn't seem to work real well.
Sandbags aren't the answer for this business because oftentimes the water gets too high. Hundreds more sandbags are needed, and that's not realistic in the short amount of time employees here have to prepare.
We've gotten to the point where when we stock things, put things in, we don't put them 2 feet down. We keep them 2 feet above the floor.
Unfortunately, flooding puts a damper on walk-in business at this car dealership, but employees have plenty to do to keep busy.
Get to the vehicles, we move the stock vehicles out and the customer vehicles out, go through the shop and get as many of the vehicles moved that we can. And the other ones, we just prep them, get them up on the hoist.
When the water starts rising, employees here at Schuler Motors are on call, moving all the inventory out of the building that typically floods to higher ground.
Yeah, and a lot of people working hard tonight, as we mentioned, to clean up businesses like that and a lot of homes like here. And as you can see, the wind is really coming up. And with that colder temperatures tonight, we almost have white caps here and just these puddles behind these homes. And it is indeed getting rapidly colder. But the cleanup continues tonight. It's going to be a long night for a lot of people, with then all eyes focusing on what happens next as we get into the weekend with some potential river flooding as well. That's it for here right now. For the latest in the newsroom, let's go back to Paula.
All right, thank you, Gary. Yeah, that water is moving right along there. Let's check out Davenport now, where we have Erica Cervantes joining us live with what they're doing on Perry Street, live along Perry. Erica?
Well, Paula, we're on River Drive and Perry Street, and River Drive is shut down because workers are putting up the barrier. These are the HESCO barriers. The baskets are up, and as you can see, this gentleman here who works for the city, he's filling it with sand. Now, this last basket, it has to be filled manually because the equipment doesn't fit in here. So they're filling all of these with sand, and then they're reinforcing them with sandbags. And the reason why River Drive is shut down, as you can see, is the river is creeping up. We've been out here for about an hour and 20 minutes, and since then, we've actually seen the river actually get a little bit higher. A couple of cars that are parked in that parking lot have made their way out, and we can tell that the water is definitely getting deeper. Now, because of the River Drive closure, the city is asking that you do use Locust Street as the detour. They're also asking people that they do not come down here and peer over the barriers or see what the workers are doing or try to take a look at the water, because it is dangerous down here and you never know what can happen, so they do want people to stay away. Now, on a side note, in the latest update we received from Davenport city leaders, they are saying if your home has been affected by flooding, you can take your stuff to the Scott County landfill. They say to make arrangements for that, all you have to do is call the Public Works Department and they'll work something out so that way you can get rid of flooded things from your basement, things like rugs and other materials that do need to be thrown out. But for now, once again, River Drive is shut down and they are asking that you use Locust Street as a detour. And of course, there are several other streets shut down. They're all on our website, KWQC.com. Live in Davenport, Erica Cervantes, KWQC TV6 News.
Yes, windy and colder. At least the heavy rain is gone. Let's take a look at our satellite and radar. And for the evening, a lot of us will stay dry, but there will still be that chance of some light rain showers, maybe even some snow showers later on in the form of more flurries than snow showers. 45 in the Quad Cities right now, 45 in Dubuque, 55 in Princeton, 45 in Burlington. Temperatures are falling. Once the front moved through a little bit a while ago, it really took the temperatures down quickly. 30s off to the north and west, and that's where the snow is too. We'll see some of that tonight and through the day tomorrow. 48 at 8 o'clock, 41 at midnight, and it'll start tomorrow to chilly 36. Strong winds as well throughout tomorrow.
All right, thanks, Eric. We'll keep you up to the minute with flood information and road closures on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and on our new QC weather app.